So, Panger, in the West, I could talk about the playoff race, but you see the West a lot. I'm going to talk about a team that's not in. The body of work that is Ryan Getzlaf announcing his retirement on and off the ice. And for, people in Toronto, you didn't get to see him a lot, but you got to love him when he played for Team Canada a couple of times as well. And he gets to play his whole career with only one NHL team.
I'm really glad that I got a chance to be in the era of broadcasting with Ryan. There are just special people that you get to cover, and occasionally get a chance to say hello to and be around, and maybe you see him in a social setting. But just a gentleman of all gentlemen, always had time to give you what you needed to help your broadcast out without giving away the farm. I just have a lot of respect for Ryan Getzlaf, and I'm really sad that he is retiring. And I say this with all due respect to the that the Anaheim Ducks have right now. But they also, you need Ryan Getzlaf to be there. You need Ryan Getzlaf when maybe there's some cockiness coming out of that lineup. It's a guy like Ryan Getzlaf, or I know I had that with Alexander Steen here, that they have the ability to stand up or tell a guy to knock it off, and just play the game. And so I think as kind of a director of player personnel and manager of the young players, besides being a really good hockey player, he's going to be greatly missed there.
Do we picture him stepping right into that organization? I've never spoken to him about it, but that to me seems like a natural progression for a guy of his stature.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? I mean, yeah, you're right. I mean, they got obviously Solani's around there a lot, and we've seen Korea. I think when they went on their search for a general manager, if I'm not mistaken, they kind of had a three-headed monster that didn't get as much notoriety as what we heard in Chicago before, they hired Kyle Davidson. But, you have Solani and Paul Kariya and Niedermeyer. They were there kind of as advisors as well. And, Ryan Getzlaf, would be a natural to do the same things that, Steve Yzerman did way back when he retired. And now you've got Nick Lidstrom, doing the same thing there in Detroit under Steve. And, But yeah, I think it would be great. He just has such a, Kyper, and he just has a presence about him. I know being tall and all that, but he walks around with great respect. He doesn't have to say anything, but he's always had that presence about him. It would be terrific.
You really notice people that are tall, right, Darren?
I do. He's tall. He's tall and bald. He's bald and tall.
So what you're saying is everybody pretty much has a presence in whatever room you're in.
All right. Nobody has Panger vision except him, though.
you know, there's little guys with gumption presence, and then there's really tall guys.
I'm not big, and I don't want to lead this charge one way or another, but what's going to happen is he is the type of guy right now where people are going to have conversations maybe they've already had on, is he a Hall of Famer or not? And I'm not sure his numbers support it one way or another, but we assume that it would be a lot harder for Ryan to get in today than, say, Bernie Federico did, 30 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Playing on one team, Bernie ended his career just barely, with Detroit, but by and large, he should have just ended it right there and over a point a game guy. And the best centerman, sure, and the best player on his team for a decade. So Ryan Getzlaf has something that a lot of the guys in Bernie's era don't have that comes into consideration too, and that's gold medals. That's World Junior Championships, that's World Championships, that's gold medals. And I think those championships do play a larger part now because there wasn't that opportunity back then. So do I think that Ryan Getzlaf is a Hall of Famer? I think in time, I don't think it's an automatic, but I think in time there'll be enough votes for Ryan Getzlaf to get in. And I don't know exactly when that's going to be, but I do believe there's going to be that opportunity at some time down the road.
So it's funny. So yesterday I had lunch with Jeff Denemy, Kelly Massey from the Hockey Hall of Fame, not knowing about Getzlaf's retirement. And by the way, there's guys, and I'm going to leave them alone right now, but there's a debate, should there be a time limit? Because they've gone back, and it's wonderful those have got in that retired 30 years ago, but some people kind of say maybe, so I'll put them in a different category. And Dan Schulman loved this. When we started The Fan, and I said, okay, Darren and Kyper, Hall of Famer in any sport. Don't give me any material. I don't want a single piece of paper. Say the person's name. Are they in or they're out, right? So you say whatever. So the Sedins, Darren.
They both have to go in, or they're both not going in.
No, wait, but you're deciding which one, in or out. I say in.
And they got to share it.
Both of them are in.
Don't give them two.
Well, they
Just
only
give
get
them
half.
one.
They only get half a thing each.
Half
It's going to
each.
be budget
I
thing.
think
A half plaque.
Okay.
Each.
Yeah, they each get one sleeve of the jacket.
Okay, my last one, Roberto Luongo. I say no.
Roberto Luongo.
Is he not top 10?
He's behind.
It's my vote. We're in a democracy here.
He's behind a few guys for me, including he's behind Cujo, and then because we're looking at wins, he doesn't have 500 wins, right? He's 590 something. Cujo's over 500. Mike Vernon's got I think Mike Vernon's a guy that I would put in the Hall of Fame before I would put in Roberto Luongo.
See, you know how to play the game.
He won a Conn Smythe in the most difficult of circumstances. He won 2 Stanley Cups, and he was an All-Star for many years. So yeah, I've got a few guys that are going to go in there before Roberto Luongo goes in.
Kippy?
I don't know. I'm sorry I brought it up.
What do you mean? It's a fun game. You just say it'd be over in 1 second.
I think Curtis Joseph for sure.
Okay, that's not what I asked, but Curtis,
Luongo.
yes. Oh, okay. So Luongo, no.
Yes.
And
no.
we Getzlaf, I say yes.
Okay.
I like the fact that he played on one team, and he is a true face
And
of,
the ring
of that
got
organization,
the ring.
and a Stanley Cup champion. To me, he is a Hall of Famer, especially with Anaheim. He is their
when
identity.
you matched up against their team, that's right. And when you matched up against their team, you matched up against Ryan Getzlaf. He had the heavy lifting all those years of going up against the other team's best player, whether he was matched up on the defensive side himself or whether he was going up against the best defensive centerman, and he was generally very successful in that. So, yes.
Kippy, last one. Darren Pang.
Oh, he's in the Hall
Absolutely.
of Fame.
No.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Builder, player, broadcaster. All of it.
Would you